Fear can feel endless, like a shadow that follows you no matter how much you try to move on. But what if that fear isn't permanent? What if your brain could actually soften the pain tied to old memories while you sleep? More than that, Why do some fears stay alive for years, even when you know the danger is gone? Why do certain memories keep coming back at night, making your heart race as if it's happening again? And is there a way to use the brain's own process during sleep to calm that fear and finally feel safe? In this video, you'll understand how fear is built, not by facts, but by the meaning your mind gave past events. You'll see how modern neuroscience shows that fearful memories can be reopened and updated, and why the night is the perfect time to begin that change. And by the end, I'll teach you one simple phrase to repeat before sleep, a small but powerful way to help your brain release fear and heal the pain that has been holding you back. Why does fear feel so unshakable, even when you know you're safe now? Think about how fear shows up in your life. Maybe it's the racing heart before speaking in public. Maybe it's avoiding a place or situation because of something that happened long ago. Or lying awake at night replaying a painful moment, wishing you could just let it go. Logically, you might know you're not in danger anymore, but your body doesn't get the message. Fear can feel like an alarm that keeps going off long after the fire is out. Philosophers have wrestled with this for centuries. The Stoic teacher Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." It means events themselves aren't what paralyze us. It's the meaning we gave them at the time. When something hurtful or terrifying happened in the past, your mind didn't just store the facts, it stored how you felt. A harsh rejection, a sudden accident, an embarrassing failure, the memory and the emotion fused together. That fusion quietly built a rule. It's not safe. I'll get hurt again. I'm not good enough. Over time, these rules stop feeling like thoughts and start feeling like truth. William James wrote that beliefs aren't just ideas. They become forces shaping what we dare to do. If your inner rule says danger, you step back. If it says, I can't handle this, you avoid trying. Every time you avoid, the brain gets the signal. Yes, we were right to be afraid. The loop strengthens. That's why fear can seem endless. It isn't just a feeling passing through. It's a story your mind learned to keep you safe. And because it worked once, it kept you from more hurt, your brain keeps playing it. But what kept you safe back then might be holding you back now. Here's the good news. Those rules were learned, and anything learned can be unlearned or reshaped. Even the ancient Stoics taught exercises to question fearful thoughts. Pause, ask if the threat is real now and if the belief still serves you. By examining and gently challenging the story, cracks appear in what once felt solid. You realize fear isn't a permanent wall. It is more like a fence built long ago that you can choose to move. Your fear feels powerful because it was born to protect you. But protection doesn't always mean truth. It's just a memory with an emotion attached, and memories, even scary ones, are not set in stone. Soon we'll see how modern neuroscience explains this in detail, and why the quiet moment before sleep is a surprisingly powerful time to begin loosening fear's hold. So if fear is a story your brain learned, the big question is, how can the brain unlearn it? For many years, scientists thought memories were fixed, like books on a shelf. Once something was written, it couldn't be changed. But around the year 2000, researchers like Joseph Ledoux and Karim Nader discovered something surprising. Memories are not frozen. When a memory is recalled, especially one tied to emotion, it briefly becomes flexible again. It's like opening a file on your computer. While the file is open, you can edit it. When you save and close, the new version replaces the old. This process is called reconsolidation. And that discovery changed everything we know about fear. If a fearful memory can be reopened and updated, then the fear linked to it can be softened. Daniela Schiller later showed that if people were reminded of a fear and then given a safe experience right after, the brain rewrote the memory without the fear attached. Even a year later, the fear didn't return. This means the alarm system in the brain, centered in the amygdala, isn't locked forever. It can be taught a new response. Now add another layer, sleep. Matthew Walker and others studying sleep science found that sleep isn't just rest, it's active therapy. During sleep, especially REM sleep, the brain replays emotional memories and processes them, like an overnight therapist. Strong emotions can be reduced, balanced, or even reshaped. That's why after a night of good sleep, problems feel lighter. It isn't because the problem vanished, but because the emotional weight shifted. Your brain has already been doing this your entire life, you just didn't know how to guide it. And then comes the most fascinating discovery. We can actually influence how the brain rewires fear while we sleep. At Northwestern University, Katharina Honner and her team paired specific odors with fearful memories. Later, while participants slept, they were exposed again to the same odor. The brain quietly reduced the fear response tied to that memory without the person even being awake. Imagine that, while you're asleep, the brain is replaying and weakening the grip of fear. All of this points to one conclusion: fear is not permanent. The brain has built-in windows where it is open to change, and one of the most powerful is the period before and during sleep. When you recall a fear or a painful memory and then pair it with a new signal, like a calming phrase or image, you aren't tricking yourself. You are literally taking advantage of reconsolidation, the brain's natural process of updating old memories. This is why repeating one simple phrase before sleep can make such a difference. It's not about forcing positivity or pretending everything is fine. It's about giving your brain new information while it's open and ready to reshape what fear means. Every night you do this, you send a message to the memory. The danger has passed, I'm safe now, I can let go. Slowly, the emotional weight softens, the fear response weakens, and space opens for courage to grow. Soon, I'll guide you through the exact phrase to use and how to practice it in a way that feels natural before bed. But first, remember this: fear is not a life sentence. It's a learned response, and thanks to what science now shows us, it's also one you can unlearn one night at a time. We've seen that fear isn't a fixed monster living inside you. It's a learned reaction, a story your brain created to keep you safe. Ancient philosophers like Epictetus said long ago, we're not disturbed by things, but by the meaning we give them. Modern neuroscience now shows this meaning is flexible. Joseph Ledoux studies prove that fear memories can be reopened and edited. Daniela Schiller demonstrated that when a memory is recalled, it enters a temporary state of plasticity, a moment where it can be updated before it locks again. And Matthew Walker's research on sleep reveals that during the night, your brain processes emotions, often softening their pain. Scientists at Northwestern even found that it is possible to weaken fear memories during sleep by presenting safe signals while the memory is active. All of this leads to one truth: fear is learned, and anything learned can be reshaped. Now imagine your life when those old alarms stop controlling you. Think about waking up without that heavy pressure in your chest, free from the cycle of avoiding what scares you. Picture yourself saying yes to opportunities you've been too anxious to take. Picture conversations where your voice doesn't tremble. See yourself walking into a place that once felt threatening and realizing you feel calm. The past is no longer in charge. You feel lighter, freer, ready to grow into someone new. That's what happens when you stop feeding fear and start rewriting its script while you sleep. Tonight, you'll try a simple ritual that uses this natural process called reconsolidation. Here's how: when you're already in bed, lights off, body comfortable, close your eyes and breathe slowly. Let your shoulders drop, let your jaw unclench. Bring to mind a fear or a memory that still tenses you, not the most painful one, but something you're ready to soften. Just hold it lightly. You don't need to relive it. Now, whisper a phrase of safety and strength. It could be, I am safe now, or that danger is over, or I am growing stronger each day. Choose one that feels believable. It doesn't have to sound magical. It just needs to feel true enough. As you say it softly, imagine a tiny future scene where you're free from that fear, maybe standing confidently, walking calmly, speaking without shaking. Hold that scene for a few moments, keep breathing, keep repeating the phrase until sleep starts to pull you in. Why this works: recalling a fear reopens the memory, and in that moment your brain is plastic. Pairing the memory with a safe phrase and a calm vision gives the brain new material before it locks again. Over repeated nights, this gentle update weakens the fear response and builds new associations of safety. You are not faking positivity, you are reteaching your nervous system that the danger is gone. And because it happens during sleep, the brain has space to integrate the new message deeply without resistance. This is slow, natural change, but each repetition moves you toward freedom. Fear loses power when the brain learns safety. With this simple nightly practice, you stop letting old alarms run your present and start living from a calmer, more courageous place. It's one of the gentlest yet most profound ways to heal. If this video helped you, comment below what fear you are ready to soften tonight and what phrase you will use to teach your brain safety. And subscribe to keep learning how to reprogram your mind with a mix of ancient wisdom and cutting-edge neuroscience, so each night becomes a chance to heal old pain and step into a freer life.